What's up, everybody? Welcome to this episode of the B3 podcast. I'm your host, Brett. I got multiple injuries, Matt here, and we have firefighter Geoff here.
Yeah.
You won't hear much out of him, I'm sure.
No, not really.
Either does his wife.
Yeah, he spells his name with a G the stupid way.
There's people. It's true.
Can you change it, or like you just stuck with it?
It just.
Are you like
it's
you're
just-
good with it now?
It's just me now.
It's just you.
Yeah. That's who I am.
I used to have foreskin, and it's gone now, so you can change your name.
You too can change your identity. Matt did. And then whenever we wanted to leave somewhere, Matt would just go, "Oh, my dick," and then we could leave.
Yeah, I did use that for a while because it did hurt. I don't know if you've ever cut your penis and then got an erection. It's uncomfortable.
I have not cut it and got an erection.
They're not recommended. There's a lot of things I would suggest before that.
Like having your foreskin removed earlier.
Yeah, when you don't remember it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a place for bacteria to grow, you know?
It is. Like, it's just, I get it. I mean, I guess I get why it's there, but we have medicine for a reason, and we can do stuff, and it's way better without.
Yeah. Well, we got our show partners, Elite Nutrition. Check them out at elitenutritionomaha.com. Use code B3 at checkout for 10% off, or go to the Omaha or the Lincoln store and yell B3
Get a free foreskin removal.
and shaker.
Yeah, they come together.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the rides in the Cybertruck. I think they've been skimping on those.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds pretty sketchy to me, but it's whatever. I don't make the rules. We also have Rosewood Block. They make the best cutting boards in barbecue. Check them out at rosewoodblock.com. Use code B3 at checkout for 10% off. I also saw, I think they posted their, if you're on their Instagram, they do have their deadline for Christmas shipping
Oh, Rosewood?
is posted. I could probably look quick and find it, actually.
I did a bunch of, so I did the world's worst ribs last night, and probably the second worst brisket in the world is resting right now. But I did scrub down the old brisket board pretty heavy, and I'm going to give it a shot to sand it. I've got some real fine sandpaper.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to give it a shot to like sand the flat part and see if I can get some of the, because I seem to cut in the same spot. Like you can see on the old YouTubes, right below the flag is where I do most of my cutting on my board. And it's kind of like rough just from all the juices and the cutting and stuff. So I'm going to try to let it dry out for a week or two and then sand that smooth and then oil it.
Oil it up. It's not, it was on their story, but if you follow them, they will have it posted.
Story.
So you can make sure to get if you want to order them as a gift because they're pretty awesome.
Is kids still getting hurt? Is that still on Instagram?
With the algorithms, I feel like it goes up and down for me, so I'm not sure. That was like the best page to follow.
That's the only reason I joined Instagram in the first place.
I think you're wrong before that. I think you stayed because of it.
Maybe. It's worth it though.
So this is our pick'ems.
I got Nebraska this weekend.
You're such a piece of shit.
I beat Tanner to it, loser.
Tanner is not here. His daughter had softball. So, whatever that means. And he's like, she doesn't even really like it. And I was like, then why are you going? Because I think she's pretty skilled in the old track.
She's a
and field.
track, right?
Yeah, I think she's got some skills in the track and field game. Anyway, so last week I fucking forgot to grab that sheet. I think I picked Washington though, and they had the upset. I should have picked Minnesota, and I didn't. I think Tanner might have beat me last week though.
Did Minnesota have the close game or get fucked by the call? Was that last week when you guys were texting about it? I don't remember.
No, that was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Because I picked Minnesota, and yeah, they got soups boned on the call. What do you think, Jeff?
Yep. Yeah, it's sports.
Yeah.
It's
Agreed.
it's like Major League. The dude that he never lets talk. All those years of broadcasting school are really paying off. Let me see what last week's was here. Week 6. Wisconsin. We kind of called them all. Wisconsin beat the shit out of Purdue. Ohio State beat the shit out of Iowa.
Weird.
Washington beat Michigan. And then Minnesota ended up beating USC.
Oh. Was Minnesota traveling?
No, it was at Minnesota. Michigan was at Washington.
And then USC comes here?
No.
No, we go there.
UCLA is here.
UCLA. There we go.
And then Oregon won over Michigan State, which everybody knew would happen. Yeah, the only one that, and Tanner, I think, said that the Rutgers game was going to be a bigger win. But he always says Nebraska's going Nebraska's going to win by more.
He was so bipolar in that thread. He's like, oh, fucking first half. Blah. Look at this second half team fucking crushing it.
Yeah, that was that fucking Purdue game. So, yeah, and Wisconsin beat the shit out of Purdue. So I don't know what that means for Nebraska later on, because Nebraska did not beat the shit out of Purdue.
Right.
But then people say, well, you can't compare like that.
You kind of can.
I mean, if you're building the odds, you're going to look at what they did in the past.
Right. I mean, I guess if they really trolloped them, then they could at least figure out what happened.
Trolloped.
Yeah.
Do you have a word of the day calendar on your desk?
I should. No, I do have a math proof of the week email that I subscribe to.
Because you're a math. If people didn't know, he did go to college for math.
It's pretty neat. The one that's out there now is if you have
Oh my God, I'm
100 lily pads.
Clue.
So if you have 100 lily pads and a frog that has to make it from lily pad 0 to lily pad 100, and they can either jump 1 lily pad or 2, how many different combinations are there that they can use to get to lily pad 100?
Jeff,
Yep.
It's it's tough.
did you figure it out?
No.
Do you have the slightest clue?
I know it has, because I've seen some problems similar to it, and you can work out some stuff like up to the first 5, and after you get 5, trying to brute force it is just obnoxious.
So you're talking about if they go 1, then 2, 2, 2, 1,
right,
1.
so if you want to go to lily pad 3, you can go 1, 1, 1, and that gets you to 3. You can go 2, 1, or you can go 1, 2, and there, right? Oh yeah, go to 1 and then 1 to 3, right? So there's I think 3 different options to go to 3. And then as you go to 4, it gets more and more complicated, right?
Obviously.
And so the way, right? And so, but
Can
then
the frog jump backwards?
no, you cannot go backwards. It's a man frog.
Okay.
I played Frogger though, and they can go backwards.
So there was a similar proof earlier this year, and so you have to start at the end and figure out. So like if you're on lily pad 98 and 99, right? You can go from 98, jump straight to 100, or you can go from 98 to 99 to 100, or you can go 99 to 100. And so it has something to do with using that to roll back in, but I can't remember exactly.
Because wouldn't it eventually meet in the middle kind of a thing? Like you have just as many options from 99 to 100 or 97 to 100 as you do from 1 to 3?
You do, but it's not unidirectional. So, right? So if you go ones all the way to 98 and then jump 98 to 100, you can also go 0 to 2 and then ones all the way. So however many you have going this way, you can flip that around and you have that same amount going the other way. And that's the catch.
Is there the answer in the next week's email?
They will tell me how stupid I am on Sunday.
So you haven't even taken a guess though.
No, I'm still looking at it. I mean, some of them are just beyond me. Like this one, there was another one that was just like, I don't even understand what the question is.
Okay.
Maybe he's got the equation for measuring the fingers.
A 45-degree angle and figuring it out.
You're trying to.
If you have a fixed point on one end of the finger and you can only weigh the other end, is there an equation to figure out the whole weight of the finger?
So like you're talking about like if someone is different heights.
No. So if they're walking the finger up and it gets to I think the 45-degree angle is supposed to be the heaviest amount.
Gotcha.
Because you have gravity,
Yep.
but then once you get past that, then the gravity starts to pull kind of the other way. So how do you figure out how much it weighs at the 45-degree angle?
45? I don't know offhand, but I can figure that out for you.
I don't know if it had something with the hypotenuse.
It's
Maybe.
science.
But I mean, just don't be obtuse about it.
Right. Got to be more acute.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, it's a real parallelogram.
Yeah. I'll figure out. Yeah, we can figure that out.
My next option was just going to be to use like a forklift and a crane scale and get it to 45
Like
degrees.
you know how much the unit, like the finger weighs
No.
itself, right? Oh, cool.
Because we've only had them on pivot points, and I didn't have how we were going to pick it up. You know what I mean? We know the end of it when I picked it up on the longest one weighed 195.
So
Okay.
the closest hypothesis we got is what, weigh that or multiply that by 2?
Because then I was like, well, we could take a 45-pound bar, pick up the one end, and see how much that weighs, and see if that would be a same multiplier.
Work the equation backwards.
You know what I mean? Because wouldn't that be the same multiplier?
I mean, so you have like your forces go horizontal and vertical. So if you're here, you have that much of the weight right there. Like think about the weights out there, right? So on any of those extensions where you start at the lowest point and you come out, it gets heavier the more parallel it is.
Mm-hmm.
right? So at its lowest, as soon as you pick it up, that's its heaviest.
Well, that's why a lot of those have a different size flywheels on the machines to make them to keep that tension all the way through.
Try to keep the tension right. But I'm like, if you don't have that and you have a single
Yeah.
point at the end, it's going to be its heaviest at the bottom,
Right.
and then at that 45
You'll
is
get
where,
max weight.
is where you're going to get your. At that point, it's going to start getting lighter, right?
Past 45.
Yeah.
My assumption from 0 to 45, it should be the same weight until weight starts to come down. I don't-
No, because as soon as you come from parallel and you go to here, now you have vertical force, but you also have force going back this way.
So that's
So
why,
as it gets up, it gets lighter.
but just trying to figure out the overall weight of the thing. Could you, knowing what a 45-pound bar weighs, hook a crane scale to it, pick up the end, and say it reads 22 and a half?
It's this percentage of 45%.
Yeah. So would that transfer over if I go out and pick up that finger and it weighs 195?
Yeah. So theoretically, if you have a
Fixed point on the end. That's
fixed
pivoted
point on the end, and you have something that is unilateral in density, which I don't think those are.
I think they are. 'Cause I think it's
weighted on one
those
end?
bridge pilings.
So if they're just bridge pilings, then it's the same, essentially same density, so the same weight spread evenly across the whole thing. If you know what it weighs at its lowest point, so at its heaviest point when you grab that, you can calculate what it would weigh at 45 degrees, what the vertical load would
But what if we just want to know what the whole thing weighs? Would you just double that?
be. Not necessarily.
See, but that's where I was saying the 45 degree or pound
Yeah.
bar. Could use that as a test because you could put it in like a
Yeah,
a
if
landmine.
you could real world test a 45-pound bar because you know it weighs 45 pounds.
Yeah, so you pick it up that
pick
same
it up
distance,
just a little bit, whatever that distance is.
and if it weighs, say it weighs 10 pounds, we know that you have to multiply it times 4.5 or whatever to get to.
yeah,
Okay,
yep.
that went way off track for where we're at, but anyway, we'll figure it out though. We'll keep you guys posted. I know everyone wants to know. So this week's
He'll put
games,
a card right here.
Yeah. Yeah. Where he just pointed, there'll be nothing. This week's game, remember, these are only Big Ten picks. So we have Northwestern at Maryland. You guys got
Anything about either of those teams?
Good. Jeff?
Other than that, Northwestern always seems to generally be pretty tough. But
They've been pretty shitty so far.
okay, cool.
Maryland, just going to blind pick this whole way through.
Good.
I know nothing.
I was going to pick Maryland as well.
Good. Tanner picks Northwestern.
He picked Maryland.
Damn it.
Washington at Iowa. Washington just upset Michigan. It's at Iowa. The points are 3 points to Iowa.
Oh, wow.
I'm going Washington. Tanner went Iowa.
I was going to say Iowa.
You're going Iowa?
Washington.
Just going Washington. You know this isn't the Capitals, right? This isn't the hockey team.
Right.
Oh, okay. Well, then hold on.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're not talking lacrosse.
Wisconsin at Rutgers. Rutgers is picked by 2. Wisconsin came off a big win against Purdue. Rutgers came off a close game with Nebraska. And it's at Rutgers. I'm going to pick Wisconsin. They really whooped up on Purdue. I feel like they're better than people were thinking they were at the beginning of the season. Could be 100% wrong, though.
I do like Wisconsin.
So you're going to go with Wisconsin?
I'll take them, yeah. Some good quality Midwest folk.
Wisconsin.
Penn State at USC. Penn State is picked by 3.5, so they have to travel basically all the way across the country.
I'd go USC. I mean, I think that travel just throws in a big enough variable. And I mean, you're like 2 or 3 point spread. That's just a pick 'em.
Was it
Well, that's just a home field advantage kind of.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's for Penn State, I guess. So they're getting.
it was USC that just got beat by Minnesota?
Yep. See, I think USC is coming with a vengeance now.
Still going to go Penn.
I'm going to go USC. Tanner went Penn State.
Of course he did.
I don't know why I just did that. I don't need that. Purdue at Illinois. I think Illinois will be Purdue.
Yeah, no one cares.
Illinois is picked by 22.5. So, yeah. Why do I keep doing that? Ohio State at Oregon.
I mean,
Ohio-
Oregon's got good uniforms.
They do. Ohio State is picked by 3.
Really?
Oregon, right now, Ohio State is number 2. Oregon is number 3. Because last week there was a big fucking shakeup in the
that's
top
right.
10.
But was that big shakeup because Alabama got like
A
fucking?
bunch of people got lost. Alabama lost. Tennessee lost. I just love that after Vanderbilt won, they carried the goalpost like 3 miles to the river, and then somebody had a Google Maps with a goalpost tracker. You could watch it going down. They took it down Broadway in Nashville,
Slap an air tag on it.
threw it in the river, and then the firemen had to pull it out of the river. I mean, you know the shittiest part? The SEC or NCAA fined him $100,000 for rushing the field.
Yeah. I mean, don't do that.
That's so
Find
stupid.
who? The
I mean,
other
I guess-
school?
The university.
I guess fine. Rushing the field's fine, but like,
Well,
if you break the goal, like, it costs a bunch of money.
Well, I'll get to that part.
How does the
I
university
think
become
the
liable for that?
well, I think the rushing thing came from wasn't there a basketball game where they rushed the court and somebody got fucked up? I think there was a college game that somebody rushed the court and then he got fucked up. But still, it's a football field. And then some other school got fined like $250,000 because this was their second offense. But so going back to the goalpost, they're going to cut up the goalpost. What I heard is cut it up and they're going to auction it off to pay the fucking. Dude, that's the biggest upset in college, possibly one of the biggest upsets in college football history.
I mean, true. I thought like most modern fields had essentially
bendy
breakaway
goalpost? Yeah.
goalposts. Like so,
They usually
so
lay 'em down right away.
Yeah, they have a drop pin. Like a lot of high schools around here.
Well,
have
based
them
on they were
too.
taking it to the river, I guess the would have just saved them the time. Hey, it's already down. Let's just take it.
Yeah.
But they had the police escort to the river. And then they were still partying while the firemen were pulling it out of the fucking river.
So
So
those firemen were super happy about that.
actually, it's probably a pretty huge
I
deal.
mean, it
They were
depends
probably
on
pretty pumped.
But it depends on like what kind of conditions you're going into.
Well, I mean, it's probably still pretty warm in Nashville, and I don't know how deep that river is right there. But, I mean, Vanderbilt's right there. I mean, the stadium's like 3 miles from the river.
I mean, it would probably give their Swift Rider rescue team some experience to go out and
Yeah.
I wonder, what does a full goalpost weigh?
I mean, they're hollow, so they
just a
can't be.
little bit more than the usual Nashville citizen.
Yeah. I would assume they're hollowed out. They can't be super heavy at this
Good
point.
opportunity to get the hydraulic tools out, I guess.
Yeah. And especially
get
if
the
they get
fucking
to cut it up.
cutters.
Yeah.
Just look, I got
So-
my Hearst battery power. They're submersible.
Right?
Just start
Up to
chopping.
11 feet first.
So I think I'll take Ohio State over Oregon. I think so. Tanner picked Ohio State also.
Okay, I'll take Ohio State. That's fine.
And then Minnesota at UCLA. Minnesota's picked by 3.5. I'm going to pick my upset as UCLA is going to beat Minnesota. I've been picking Minnesota for the upsets, but I mean UCLA is due to be like not so shitty.
I know, but they still have to travel. They're going out west, brand new environment.
Hockey school, I got to go with Minnesota.
Of course you do. Have you seen the old commercial where the gopher and he keeps falling down?
Trying to skate.
Not
Yeah.
ringing any bells.
Dude, it's great. He's like they're trying to do this car commercial and he falls like every time he skates in. Yeah. So I'm going to Tanner took Minnesota. I'm going to take UCLA for my upset pick. Because I don't think Washington over Iowa is an upset pick. And Wisconsin over Rutgers, I don't think is an upset pick either.
I like UCLA. I'll take that.
The
It's
Bruins,
just the travel.
they were showing the Miami semi that had traveled to Cal, like how long it took him. And they had like a little cartoon map with
Like I
the
had to
semi.
like leave the week before.
Dude, I don't understand the Hawaii one. Do you think they'd like fly their equipment over or they container ship it?
I don't know. I imagine that they just give. Well, I mean, you got to take like the pads and stuff.
Or do you think they just charter basically a full-size commercial plane for the team and then they
Just a fucking military cargo plane and fly all their shit.
because if you have a semi-load of shit, that's a lot for an
I
airplane.
wonder if they do, like, bigger touring bands will just have gear in Europe and just stays in Europe. I'll constantly wonder if they do that.
Maybe, but that'd be at
Here.
least like. But if it changes, so however many teams are going to play each year, would all have to store stuff out there. You know, like different helmets, all that gear and stuff.
I don't know.
I bet they just cargo plane that shit out there like a FedEx plane. Just put all their shit on there.
Yeah, I was wondering because it'd be a long drive to Hawaii in a semi.
It'd be tough. You have to go real fast.
Do you remember back in the day on Google Maps when you could go like Nebraska to Europe and you could pick walking? And it's like walk to whatever, and it's like rent a kayak. You're giving these directions, and it's like now row your kayak for like 5,000 miles. But I think they stopped doing that. Someone probably did it and then fucking sued Google. That's my guess.
Probably.
But these are the picks. I mean, obviously Nebraska's got a bye week, so that's a W for them right there.
Yep, undefeated.
Undefeated on the bye weeks. But then they come back against Indiana. Indiana's playing tough, so we'll have to
Is
see.
that here? There.
That is there. I believe they have Indiana and they have Indiana and Ohio State on the road.
So it's not this
Can't-
weekend. Next weekend.
Can't be many home games left. Did they have like 4 or 5 in a row?
Yep, they have two left. They have they have UCLA and Wisconsin.
Yeah. So we burned through 4 of them right away.
Yeah, right away we had because they have 7 home games. So, but yeah, you guys got anything else on the football picks? We like to keep these little short and sweet episodes. Jeff had a lot of input today, so
You betcha.
that's good. You know, he's
Yeah.
here today, not fighting fires.
Way better than Tanner.
He says softball. He goes, I have softball. I go, I didn't realize your daughter was a lesbian.
Yet.
Well, and I said, wait, is she a pitcher or a second baseman or a catcher or a second baseman?
The
was
third baseman.
He's like, no. And I was like, oh.
Third basemans are the heavy but athletic folk.
There used to be a girl that trained with one of the trainers, and she was a really good pitcher. And we used to ask her how many lesbians were on her team, and she was like, she was trying to figure it all out. How many cats do they have? What's the ratio to
It
cats?
wasn't always like, oh, if you wore a headband, like the bandana or headband or something like that, swung for the other team.
Yeah. I was telling Amber thumb rings.
Ooh.
If they were a thumb ring, they might be a lesbian.
Jeff, what do you got in your thumb?
I'm setting this one out.
Okay.
He has a thumb ring on then if you're saying he's sitting it out. It's probably like a studded one for thumb stuff. All right, guys. Well, let us know what you think about our picks if you think they're shitty. I mean, it doesn't really matter. We're just picking them. And by the time we read your comments, it's going to be like Monday. So the games will be over.
We do get half the winnings for whatever you pick when you agree with us.
Yeah. Whatever bets are made that are me equals $0. But yeah, let us know what you think. Like, subscribe, share, follow. Don't follow, just listen. Watch us on the YouTubes. We look way better. We have good lighting in here now.
It's really good lighting.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah.
Don't look directly at it though. You see spots for a while.
That's true. Camera
Yeah.
situation.
As I just did that.
Great. Right? And I was like, oh, look at the lights. Oh,
Yeah. Right. That's like, oh, this fart stinks. Yeah, it does.
fuck,
Yeah, it
that's real
does.
bad. Speaking of that, did you sit in the bathroom right over here when you came in earlier?
Maybe.
Okay, I sat in it and pooped too. So I got in, and by the time I got in there,
Like you
down,
sat in his poop, like there was
yeah,
poop on there
it was
still.
on the seat.
No, nope.
Yeah, he was poop.
I
all
believe
over
my
the
dad
seat.
called it speckled porcelain. All right, guys, we appreciate you
Dalmatian.
listening. We'll see you next time.